maker, the top market maker, they red like a baker. Betty election, make a prediction. Betty election, bet on erection. Bet on erection, make a prediction. Feel a friction, make a prediction. Feel a friction. Betty election, get on erection. Betty erection, get into bed with she.
The stock market, meaning companies, new highs.
I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on. Nuts! They're nuts! They know nothing!
An online network called Internet.
Well, it's very hip to be on the internet right now.
Welcome, my degenerates! The rest of your life starts right now on Market Mania, presented by Kalshi. The no bullshit approach to all markets, including election betting, cryptocurrency, and the largest casino in the world, the U.S. stock market. We're back, baby! Andrew Barber's live and direct with us in our digital studio, and Elon the dog is a good boy. Today, of course, just a week and a change away from the election, top story is the case for Kamala. We have our special guest. Thank you, Andrew Barber, for being on Market Mania. Give us your case for Kamala, staring at the Kalshi election odds showing a 60-40 weighted coin flip for Trump.
I mean, I have the impossibly hard task. I know that I've been thrown into, water with a bunch of sharks. I thought a lot about what I wanted to talk about when you invited me on. And I think the thing that instead of making a case for Kamala, I think that it's cliche and everyone's heard it. Like the same, I've been a participant in these arguments for so many years now that I know exactly the talking points. And so I think the thing that I wanted to talk about, or at least emphasize, is that I don't think Trump is an existential crisis. And that's not the thing that, I think that's a losing argument. I think the crisis that I'm concerned about is the epistemic crisis, is that we don't know, we don't know what's true. And I think the pursuit of truth is something that's not in vogue right now. And we largely talk past each other, and there's lots of yelling and shouting and ad hominem attacks and, a lot of hyperbole on how bad Trump is or how bad Kamala is. And I think that crowds out a reasonable discussion of things like policy. And I don't think there's that many nuanced discussions of policy when it comes to politics. It's my team versus your team. And I think that's unfortunate. And I don't think we get anywhere with that. And so I'd like to try to, whenever possible, to try to bring it back to that, to try to bring some civility to the discourse, because it sorely needs that. And it's not sexy. It's not sensational. It's not pro wrestling. It's civil discussion and trying to find points of agreement. And my concern with Trumpism and MAGA is that I don't know if those are priorities. I don't know if they're going to be priorities. I don't know if there doesn't seem to be a lot of falsifiability within MAGA. There's not a lot of I will withdraw support if X happens, or I don't care if false claims were made. And I don't care the number of false claims that are made. And so those are kind of my concerns. I'm not going to tell you that I think the world's going to fall apart if Trump's elected, because I don't believe that. I think that's a losing argument. I actually think that's evidence of someone who's not thinking very hard as well.
Let me ask you this. Let me put you on the spot here. So Who do you think is the best political candidate for this particular presidential election? I mean, the glib response is it's not even close, but I think that's not a good response. I think Kamala understands the job better. I think that she's more engaged with policy. I think that Trump has the benefit of running for office at a time where that kind of person can do really well. He's like a meme, and a meme can win in 2024. A meme couldn't win in 2012 or 2000 or 1968. I think
it's a meme versus a blank shell, though. Too, Kamala is not an inspirational candidate whatsoever.
Yeah, and I don't know like how you catch magic in a bottle. You know, I always tend to ask people who are supporting Trump, like, who would you like to see running on the other side? And I don't know if I think I get some like bad faith responses. I think that I think Brett, you might have told me Tulsi at one point, and it's like, well, that's basically.
I love first off Tulsi. I caucused for Tulsi in 2020. She got railroaded by a corrupt DNC. She was a brave Democrat.
She just joined the Republican Party, right?
I mean, so but like, she stood up to the corruption from the DNC, and then they put this ridiculous smear campaign against her for years. So I don't blame her whatsoever. She was vice chair of the DNC. She was next in line, and then she resigned because of Debbie Wasserman Schultz and all the corruption to endorse Bernie. And so then Hillary and all of her cronies just went after her, and they targeted her with these malicious smears for years that were just completely false. They just made it up. So as you said earlier about like facts matter or whatever, I mean, the Democrats have been pushing multiple huge lies that bother me personally between COVID, Russiagate, January 6th. I don't consider them to be the sort of honest party either. I think you're voting for a liar either way.
Yeah, I think that you will find. I think you'll find lies from any politician. I'm happy to concede that like Tulsi was railroaded or whatever. I just find it interesting how someone who was a party member could change sides, and that happened to be the person that you thought would be a good figurehead of the Democratic Party.
I think she would have been great. Yeah, anti-war. I mean, she's always been anti-war, which the Democratic Party obviously is more pro-war than Trump. Currently, at least the Cheney, they're celebrating the Cheney endorsement.
Andrew Barber, do you believe what Brett just said? Do you believe the Democratic Party is more pro-war than Trump?
I don't know if I like see a lot of evidence to support that. I think that certainly I don't think there's anything in the last 4 years that would lend support to that. But I don't think it's as like I don't think there is. I don't think they're as polarized as they once were. Like, it's not like the Hawks and the Doves like it used to be, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 years ago or something like that, where like, you know, George W. Bush like really wanted to use the military. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think that probably these parties are like more closely aligned on the level of military activity they want to engage in. So I don't know if there's a lot of daylight between them on this topic.
Yeah, that's fair.
Glance. You're looking at a 60-40 market, and I know you've been taking Kamala action, or you've been soliciting Kamala action recently. Did you get anything down? Do you the bet right here?
Well, unfortunately, I bet the majority of it at even money about, I guess, 3 weeks ago. But then I got back into the game yesterday, started getting a little 185, but not as much as I wanted. So I went down to 175. So plus 175, I was able to find some.
Barber, do you like that bet? Do you like Kamala plus 175 right here, right now, October 24th? Just from a better standpoint, not from any sort of a policy standpoint.
Sorry, I'm overthinking it because I really don't want to give you the same answer that Bart gave you, which is like, it feels silly to put money into play now because of the lessons that we learned from 2020, and it just seems like there's. But if I had like. If I could just have a small amount of action on it,
you got a free bet. You got a 5K free bet.
Yeah.
You have a 5K free bet. You have to bet it today. It expires in 10 minutes. 5K free bet. Where does it go?
Yeah. I think I like that price. I think I take that, and I think I pass on like 150.
So before we move on to the next subject, Mike, I just want to bring up one point that our good friend Tom Coro made to me, which I think is a really meaningful point I want to leave us with.
Shout out to Tom.
Shout out to Tom Coro, great mixed game player, great poker player, a great mind. He mentioned that
he's a good friend.
If you think about it, all the smart people we know, it's like 50-50 Kamala or Trump. Like, it's like pretty much with smart people, it's right down the middle. But every dumb person we know is all for Trump. It's like 100% Trump. So I just want to leave us. So I think this market at 60-40 is kind of correct if you think about it.
Fuck, I can't argue that point. Every single idiot that I know is definitely pro-Trump.
Matt, am I one of those idiots?
So,
I mean, either you're a smart
so you
guy.
can be either way.
Here's the thing: either you're a smart guy or a dumb guy if you're for Trump. But at least if you're for Kamala, we know you're an intelligent person.
All right, that is awesome. And Barber, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on this. And we will see you back. He's already confirmed, can't go back on it, no take backsies. On November 5th, remember, the 5th of November is going to be an epic Market Mania stream the whole night of the election, and we are going to be live tracking the odds. Barber is going to be one of the little digital heads on there, sharing his wisdom throughout the evening with us.
Well, he's a veteran of the show, Mike. You want to mention?
He is. That's fair. No, that's fair. 4 years ago. I can't believe it's been 4 years. Yeah. I can't believe it's been 4 years. We had an epic stream 4 years ago. You can still see that on the Market Mania YouTube. We have a full archive of it. It was a crazy night, and Barber was there. Barber shared that evening with us. It was really fun, and we're going to do it again. We're running it back, baby. And this is a great story. This is a wonderful story. And Andrew, thanks for sitting through some of the deep crypto stuff with us. Andrew Greenberg, who is an amazing journalist, one of the very few journalists that actually still does journalism and isn't bought really by anybody. He has always been deep in the nerd sector, and then since crypto hit, he's been deep in crypto. And he was deep in Anonymous, reporting like what I think is very fairly on all that back in the day. And so he just got to sit down with ZachXBT. And I doubt that Zach would sit down with many journalists. And this guy, for those of you that don't know, give him a Google, give him a follow on Twitter. He just uncovers almost every major crypto heist of the last couple of years. Anything that has hit for big money, Zach tracks your ass down, which is brilliant. And it's a really, really well-needed part of the space because some of that stuff has gone rampant. North Korea, the Lazarus Group has been scooping up crypto and even getting agents into projects as workers. And so Greenberg sat down with them. And the thing that I want to play, and this is just amazing. And Brett, I know that you followed this one when it happened.
Yeah.
There was a big heist of $240 million in Bitcoin. That's $250 million. It came from one user. Some mega baller had a 240 ball on, I think it was Genesis or something. And somehow, some way, Zach has the screen recording of the moment that they stole 4,000 Bitcoins, over 240 million worth. And this is just amazing. And I mean, I don't know. Yeah, play that shit, Tony. This is absolutely insane. This is them just getting, I don't know if we have audio of it.
It's worth reading the article, and you can see it in there too. Yes. It's probably hard to see it on here.
Fuck, nigga.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Bro, I'm gonna spaz out! Yo! We're done! I'm spazzing out! You know,
these are the guys stealing it, or these?
Yeah, they stole 240 million from a
quarter of a bill.
Random guy.
Spent 3 days, or is it 4 days?
They fished him.
That's very pretty funny.
So that's probably enough, Tony. I think we got the idea. They're just freaking out. Somehow this guy has the screen grab. I mean, Brett Ritchie, this guy's doing God's work, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it's a necessary thing, and I would point this out to Elizabeth Warren in her band of goons that blockchain technology actually makes it so a lot of this is more traceable than in the sort of regular world, where there's also a ton of crime and money laundering as well, using traditional financial rails such as cash and like gemstones and all these banks. That TD Bank, what they just get a $3 billion fine.
Andrew Barber. We're back to Elizabeth Warren from the ZachXBT story. That's the type of segues you can come to Market Mania and expect day in and day out. Do you cringe like I do when Elizabeth Warren tweets, "Oh, it's corporate gouging. That's why these prices are so high, and then you poors can't afford"?
I mean, I can recognize when people I like say dumb stuff, and that was something that was super dumb. I mean, I'm a free market guy. I think the allegations of price gouging 99 out of 100 times are going to be bullshit. I think people have brainworms when it comes to markets and money and economics. And I mean, I've been arguing against rent control for like 10 years now. I've probably made this much difference. and there was this setting recently with the hurricane and increasing the price of gas. I've laid out a dozen different arguments. They almost all fall flat. So yeah, it's frustrating. But yeah, Warren, big L on that one.
For me personally, Warren is a smart person. And by the way, the Republicans are no better. I'm no Republican. I don't care. I'm not going to vote. And they're both parties seem rotten to the core. But when a politician like Elizabeth Warren, who's smart, she's not like Bernie and who spews some economic bullshit. Bernie's a man of the people, and I respect him for that, even though I disagree with him completely on economic policies. But when Warren gets up there and says, hey, the prices are up because of big corporations and they're just greedy, when she knows damn well that the government printed money and caused inflation, I can't take it. That one sets me off. I got to fire out my tweets. And I mean, I don't know. That's enough.
She's damaged herself more than any politician I've ever seen since Occupy Wall Street days, where she was this brave champion taking on the banks, on behalf of the little guy, to doing a complete 180 to selling out and being this massive, just craven shill for the banks. I can't stand her.
Do you support a party, Andrew? Just because do you actually support them, or is it just like, are you like when you have to vote, are you just like, I gotta, fine. It's the only choice. It's one of two bad choices. This is the least bad.
I wish that we had a healthier political system where the Republican Party looked more like the Libertarian Republican Party of like the 60s and 70s. Yeah. Like I always called myself a Barry Goldwater Republican when I was in college because I wrote for like a conservative newspaper that Ann Coulter started. And I miss that because it was the intellectual party. Like for the longest time, the Republican Party was the party of smart people for decades. And it's just unfortunate that that's less so the case. I mean, it's not at all the case, but I want to be, as polite as possible. But no, it's a bummer. It's a bummer that there's not interesting ideological battles on these topics. But to respond to your question about the Democrats,
I've been saying this for. Yeah, I've been saying for a long time that the people that run multi-billion and now trillion-dollar corporations, they're smart people in their 40s, 50s, 60s. And then you look at politicians that run the whole country and you see vampires in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's multiple reasons for that. It should not be a surprise when the people who have the highest voter turnouts are the old people. And Biden was universally loved in his when he ran through the primary. And I think it's because he's comforting to older people. I think it's really hard to break through as a young person. Yeah, I know that Matt's going to love this, but I think Pete Buttigieg, I think that if he had 20 years on him, he might have a better shot.
For sure. Fully agree. All right, Tony's pushing us to move along there, Mike, so we got to go.
Yeah, well, Tony, I run the show, goddammit. So, okay, so speaking of idiocy, Brett has one of the best topics that this is near and dear to my heart now. So the Emoji Mania. We have, Brett, take us through this. We have the emojis
got slightly hot a couple weeks ago, and then they really cooled off with this AI meta. I see the future here. It's a lot of scams. The tooling isn't great. Discovery is not great, but I see the world where people are going to want to trade these emojis, right? All these AI, it's too complex. There's a lot of scams there too, and rug pulls. People are going to hopefully flee to the confines of their local, safe, friendly emoji that they like near and dear to them. I got the sun emoji up top. I got the Lolana, the laughing emoji up top. I got the autism emoji. I got the bug emoji. I got Black Santa. I got that Sonic the Hedgehog one. I am pregnant man. I'm waiting for a dip there to get back in. I think it's great, honestly. I'm personally spending just a lot of time and interest in this space. The market caps are all extremely cheap. The combined market cap of all of this is 11 million. The top coins are barely in the seven figures. There's a lot. There's teams, again, it's mostly scams, but there's some legit teams here. And I think that if you're in the Solana streets, a world where emojis get picked as a meta has tremendous upside for the price. So that's
before Barber and Glance have a fucking aneurysm about this, if you scroll to the top of that, Tony, there are S-tier emojis on the Solana shitter markets. They're not all emojis are created the same. Some don't even have a team.
The beetle emoji is great.
The beetle emoji people, they're doing great work. Dog, the highest market cap out of all these, essentially a bellwether of the Solana shitter emoji streets. It's not, the dog is not like, for instance, Rocket, who the team just disappeared. These emojis just, I don't want you guys to look at this as like, okay, all emojis are the same. Just
Brick
so you
and
guys
Nut
know.
down in the B tier. I'm in on them.
I mean, Brick has, there's a lot. I mean, you guys will see in my pick of the day, there's a lot of upside potential.
Mushroom doubled overnight. Tesla's up 20%. People are victory lapping. Well, Mushroom's up 50%. You don't see me touting that, even though I did buy it at,
Andrew Barber,
30K.
I'm going to hit you with this question because Glance said it was like 400 million. What does your personal net worth have to be before you're going to buy $5,000 of a Solana emoji coin?
Oh, I mean, I think the investment thesis on Pregnant Man has sold me. I think I'm going to be in that later today.
Second oldest emoji ticker ever behind the sun. Lolana's
Mike,
third.
and I think the most important thing we can take away from this one is Brent mentioned, and it's important to mention that there are a few of these coins that are only 7-figure market caps right now. So you won't want to get in whether.
All right. Off of the emojis, a smooth transition from this insanity to this is a real company that Glance called. Glance, take us through your excellent call from the other day.
Right, so this was the pick of the day last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I'm not really sure. Viking Therapeutics, it skyrocketed today after dealing a blow to Eli Lilly's obesity drugs. They're coming out with a pill. So, like, when you take Ozempic and all those drugs, you have to take a needle. Nobody wants to take a shot if they don't have to. So, Viking's coming up with a pill that mimics GLP-1s and GIP hormones to improve the feelings of being full and how fast the stomach empties itself. So it's basically the same thing, or they're going for the same thing. And they came out with results, their earnings last night, which the earnings really don't matter at this point. It's a young company, but they came out and they showed that in their testing, you can take 100 milligrams of this drug and there's no kind of side effects. The tolerability is really high for this, even higher than Ozempic, I think. So this stock is skyrocketing today. It's up 21% right now, 73.5. I think we got in around 60. And, this one is a big candidate for a takeover by Eli Lilly or Novo, one of these big
Andrew Barber, nobody today wants to do exercise and eat right. What do you think? People want to take the pill form of Ozempic?
I am currently on tirzepatide. I felt like I was, I've been interested in trying to eliminate obesity for a number of years now, and Bill Perkins generously offered to fund some obesity research I was doing, and I realized that I was recommending the GLP-1 agonists to so many people, and then someone said, "Well, if you haven't taken this yourself, I feel like you can't be recommending it to others." And I said, "That's a good point." So I signed up, and I've been taking it for, I think, Go ahead.
You're in good shape. We were on the tennis court the other World Series. You and I hit the tennis ball well. You're in good shape.
I'm not in my kind of good shape.
Or Andrew, the generic version or brand version?
The compounded, yeah. That loophole which is slowly disappearing, and it's getting harder and harder. But
right.
Yeah. So I got it through the compounding, just paying cash, and it's miraculous. I mean, this stuff is so good, and my short elevator pitch is: if you're fat, you've been fat for a long time, and you haven't been successful, you need to be on this shit yesterday.
Barber's not fat, by the way. This man hits the ball better than I do on the tennis court. And I mean, this isn't, no, you don't need that shit. You don't need that shit. You just need to get out there more. You need to strike that ball more. I'm playing at 4 o'clock today, too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Tony, when the safety glasses go on and the not investment advice hat is affixed, that means it is time for the Market Mania pick of the day. Matt Glantz, hit us with your pick of the day.
My pick of the day is Carvana. Most of you know those those big machines you see on the side of the road where they put cars in the circle thing. I don't know what it's called. But I want to short this stock. This stock, to me, doesn't make sense. $40 billion market cap. I can't see it going any higher.
Saddled with debt, as Tony Hsieh would say, RIP, they deliver wow. Those vending machines are pretty fucking cool when you drive by them. Brett Ritchie, what is your pick of the day? They're also saddled with debt.
I'm going over to Kalshi. Trump, blowout, Nevada, 6+ points. I'm here. I got boots on the ground. It's going to be a landslide. It's a lock. You know, kids' college fund, maybe you don't need to go that far, but you got a little extra gambling money from the emojis that you just ran up, fired in on this. 6+% Trump, Nevada, risk-free, close to
6+% Nevada. I don't know, Tony. Do we need to get a click in there just to fire a hundo on that? I don't know how deep it is. Fire a hundo on that.
No, you have 0% there, Tony. You got the wrong market.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll
deal with it later.
Yeah. All right, Barber. What is your? Thank you again for being on the show, Andrew. We really, really appreciate it. And what is your pick of the day?
So, I mean, it's tough to add alpha to this brain trust that is assembled on this show. But I want to do something related to prediction markets. And I was trying to think, what is someone not thinking about? I read in the news that there's been this push to register college voters, not in the state they reside in, but the state they attend college in. I just moved to Pittsburgh a couple months ago, and I've been asked to volunteer to register people at Pitt. And I did some research on this, and I actually think the margins are going to be razor thin in the swing states. I think it's going to be within 10 or 20,000 in a couple of the states. Pennsylvania has 80,000 students that live elsewhere that are attending college within the state. I don't have the crosstabs on how college age students vote, but I would imagine previously registered college students that change their registration in Pennsylvania, I have to think that that's skewing heavily left. And so I think that maybe the models are not incorporating these college students.
But you like Pennsylvania.
All right. I think we just sold that market yesterday. We just sold that exact market yesterday. So it's going to be hard to ape back in for us right here on the Kalshi account that is controlled by us. It's all of our own money. Thank you so much, Barber. Thank you. Pick of the day. I'm going with the dumbest shit I could find this week. No investment advice, not investment advice. We're going with the brick emoji. Is that the brick emoji? That's the brick emoji. Why not? You've seen the dumbest shit happen throughout cycle after cycle. Brick emoji seems like, it's almost worse than hamster combat from yesterday. That's just the dumbest thing I could find on the board recently.
I'm in on brick emoji already.
You can see it running. You can just see it when they're like, hey, brick emoji's the number one. You're like, what the fuck, brick emoji? You got to be
told you. We'll be saying.
Andrew Barber, thank you so much for being on the show. We like to leave you every day, and we'll see you back for the November 5th election stream special. We like to leave you every day with one of our modern day poets. Today is no different. It's going to be Young Dolph, R.I.P., and his hit song, Major. And a couple bars goes a little something like this. Trapper/rapper/bad bitch snatcher. Baby mama mad, she said, you live like a bachelor. Sold 100 pounds and gave 10% to the pastor. Keep going up the ladder. They mad, make 'em matter. Like and subscribe to this show on X. Share around our video. Pump those algorithm numbers so we can keep doing this for you day in and day out. Like and subscribe on YouTube, please. And we will see you tomorrow, if there is a tomorrow. But for now, it's lights out.
I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have. I never sleep. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Time to right the wrong. So your hands in the air if you like the song. If you're going over there, take it twice as long. Last time ain't talking about Tylenol. Oh, I bet you'd like to know. You can come around the way if you're trying to go. If you want to switch lanes for a pot of gold or a domino, out of control. The usual. Get mad cause I'm looking at your girl. Switch it up. I do it so much
much louder than everything you've heard. Everybody heard, got the word that the world wasn't turning. Act like you're in a jury, power of attorney, we're how we're turning. Can't lie like it's Mississippi burning. Don't act like you're in a daze. I imagine to look the other way. Couldn't clear space on my mind, was afraid of the time. Strobe light flicking in the moonlight.